Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Investors in genomics do not find regular technical fundamental analysis and commentary on genomic stocks. That's why we are here. Today we are looking at Verve Therapeutics to provide an update on its status. Let's get started. Welcome back. Verve Therapeutics recently concluded its underwritten public offering, selling around 14.375 million shares at $10 per share, resulting in a total gross proceeds of around 143.8 million. The offering included additional 1.87 million shares exercised by underwriters. Concurrently, Verve closed a private placement issuing 2.3 million shares to Eli Lilly and Company, generating gross proceeds of approximately 23 million. More recently, last week, Citigroup Inc. increased its holdings in Verve Therapeutics by 34.8%. Verve ended the third quarter of 2023 with 485.2 million in cash equivalents, and marketable securities. Verve expects its existing cash equivalents, and marketable securities to be sufficient to fund its operations into 2026. This runway has surely extended thanks to the December 2023 issue of shares that happened after their Q3 earnings release. While this means equity dilution, the share price fell 29% from December after the announcement of the equity offerings all the way up to 6th of February. And after that, it has picked up. Since 6th of February, the share has gained 31% and is looking good now. Let me take you to the share price charts first, and then we'll also look at the statistics about the shareholding pattern and other things for Verve Therapeutics. Here we are in the TradingView price chart, and this is each of these candles are one-day candle, and you can see today we had a huge spike in the share price, and this is the lowest point that we had somewhere around the 5th of February when the share dipped to the lowest price of around 10.32. And this is where the equity issue happened somewhere in December. So the drop started from 27th of December, kept going down steadily until the 5th of February, and then it has picked up, and there's been a lot of consolidation. And I also think that I spot a cup and handle pattern here, which is what I'm a big fan of. And the projections show that we could potentially aim for a target price of 16.23 for Verve Therapeutics. Whether it will go there or not depends on the market sentiments. I'll talk more about the share price later on in this video, but this is what I wanted to talk to you about in the charts. I'd also like to show you some other statistics about Verve Therapeutics. I'm in a website which is called as Simply Wall Street, and you guys will find this website to be very interesting. So I'm going to go into the valuation tab, and as far as the price to book ratio is concerned, Verve Therapeutics is doing way better than its peers. And for peers, I have put comparison with CRISPR Therapeutics, Beam, Intellia, and Editas. And Verve is more or less closer to Intellia in terms of price to book ratio. Of course, CRISPR is going to be the granddaddy out here because it has done very well. But compared to CRISPR, I think Beam Therapeutics is priced higher, given that they do not have any monetized therapy in their hand at this point of time. And Editas seems to be lower, given that they have this licensing of CRISPR-Cas9 which is coming to them. So that's the anomalies I find out here. We'll talk about this in subsequent videos for each of these companies. Now, if we were to look at price to book ratio versus industry, Verve is slightly higher when compared to the industry, marginally higher, not too much. And if we were to look at analysts' price targets, we are looking at average one-year price target of around 45.89 for this share. And I think I would like to go into the ownership. If I was to look at ownership, we have a good deal of institutional ownership, around 74.9%. And then there are VCs and private equity firms which account for 15.1%. And general public holds only 4.27. The float is quite small. Therefore, I think there is plenty of stability out here because these institutional investors, once they buy the shares, they keep it in their hands for a longer period of time. But at the same time, some of the institutional investors may have strategic interests which may want them to divest, and they wouldn't hesitate to drop a whole lot of shares at once. and move to their next shiny object. So that's the factor that we have to keep in mind. And among the top shareholders out here, we have GV Management, ARK Investment, Vanguard Group, and I think ARK Investment has got 8.74%, GV Management has got 15.1%. Also, BlackRock has a holding here of 5.52%. So these are some of the big names that we have out here. So that gives a good deal of stability for the company. So having said that, I think the next thing that we need to do is to go and have a look at the pipeline and see what the pipeline looks like, because we are trying to justify the firming up prices of the share. So one of the things we have to look at is the pipeline, then we'll have to look at the short interest and other factors. So let's look at the pipeline now. So here we are on the pipeline page for Verve Therapeutics, and as you can see, they have a bunch of candidates out here. It's not a very big pipeline as compared to, let's say, a company like CRISPR. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candidates out there, out of which 2 are in early stage clinical trial. Not even 2, I would say 1 is in early stage clinical trial for 2 indications, and the others are all in preclinical stage. So I think the pipeline needs a long time before it becomes monetized. That's what I would say. It has got some collaborations here with Eli Lilly, and Lilly has also taken equity. So that's a very strong partnership to have. So in terms of specifics, right, the Verve 101 Heart-1 trial is progressing with enrollment in UK and New Zealand. FDA had held back the clearance for that. Now FDA has already given clearance towards the end of last year. So Verve 101 has prompted plans to activate US site. And here are the milestones that the company expects this year. I got these milestones from the JP Morgan conference and their Q3 earnings release. So the milestones include dose selection, expansion, cohort initiation, and initiating phase 1 trials for Verve 102. And Verve aims to commence a randomized placebo-controlled phase 2 clinical trial for either Verve 101 or Verve 102 in 2025. So don't get too excited when you see phase 2 clinical trial for Verve 101 or Verve 102. These are all milestones they are aiming for 2025. It also requires the FDA to give the clearance for phase 1 and then let them get into phase 2. So these are forward-looking statements. I would discount them. So what should one make of the strength of the stock prices? So the other suspect would be short interest. So let us head over to Fintel, which is another website where you can get really good information about short positions. Let me take you to Fintel for Verve. So here we are in Fintel. Please ignore all the other distractions. I was looking for an elliptical, and now I'm being bombarded with ads for ellipticals and treadmills. So ignore all this noise. What we are interested in here is the basic stats. This is the set of information that we are looking at. I'm going to leave it highlighted for you so that you can see. I would not look at the absolute number. This is the absolute number of short interest, the number of shares. I wouldn't look at that, because for me ratios make more sense, because then you're comparing it with the peer group. So in terms of short interest ratio, I think this ratio indicates how long it would take short seller to cover their position at the current average daily trading volume. A ratio of 21.97 days is moderately high, but nothing to worry about too much, suggesting that it could take some time for short sellers to cover their bets if the stock price starts to firm up like it is doing right now. And short interest as percentage of float is a metric that expresses the short interest as percentage of a company's outstanding shares. And sitting at 19.43%, I think Verve's short interest represents a moderately high proportion of its float. So I don't think short squeeze is at play as yet. Perhaps it is the overall market sentiment that is pushing the stock up. These are strange times when the market ignores the high interest rate environment and is focused on a shiny object which is called the AI prospects to create secular growth. Secular growth means growth across various industries in terms of productivity and hence profitability across industries. There is a lot of work to be done to build an AI infrastructure and the workforce to deliver the full promise of AI. So we'll find intermittent volatility when investors are jolted out of the trance periodically by either a geopolitical event or the upcoming election results. So we have to be careful with companies like Verve and the other ones in our watch list like Editas and Intelia and all those, because they don't have monetized product and they are high risk, and in a high interest rate environment they are not supposed to perform well, but overall exuberance in the market is pushing them all up. That is my personal opinion, and I think that's the reason why we are seeing the firming up of the shares. It can change on a dime. And friends, please remember, all that I am telling you is personal opinion and it's not financial advice. So please consult your financial advisor and do your own due diligence before making any investments. But I find that for genomics, the YouTube community has not done as much for genomics. So in this channel, we focus on genomics and AI. And I'll be having more videos like this on an ongoing basis on various genomic companies. We have a watch list of around 15 genomic companies that we cover. So please let me have your comments. And if you like this video, before you leave, please press the like and subscribe or notify to help the channel grow and serve you better. Bye for now.